How's it going, YouTube Nation? It's Average Will. Welcome back to the channel, and we're doing another Saturday sit down. This is a special one. I know I haven't done one in a while, and this was one that I was trying to put together earlier, but my schedule has been crazy. So now it's awesome to have the opportunity to have this Saturday sit down and kind of get in and talk about this awesome project from some great creators and everything, and all that. I'm just trying to make sure all my stuff is. I'm a little in shambles here. So bear with me one moment, folks, as I try to get everything all pulled up and working properly here. As you know, this is how it is here on the channel. We're never perfect. We're just okay. So let's get the guests in real quick. How's it going, brother John Comics? Welcome in. Let's bring everybody in, and we're going to be talking about Cthulhu, Cthulhu Takes Wonderland tonight, which is awesome. Try to do this. Wait, nope, that's not what I want. There we go. Got it all right now. Can you tell I was like trying to rush to get home real quick and try to get everything going? Well-oiled machine here on the channel, that's for sure. So I'll go around with the great panel we have here today, and you guys introduce yourselves and let us know a little bit about yourselves. I'll start here at the top one over here, right there. Yeah, you. Yep.
Hi, I'm Travis Gibb. I am the creator of Cthulhu Invades Wonderland. I also am the publisher of Orange Cone Productions, which is the Soul Things Under. I've done a whole bunch of books from Broke Down and Four Dead Bodies to Granite State Punk to Voodoo Nations, all sorts of really cool things. Cthulhu Invades Wonderland is a sequel to Cthulhu Invades Oz. We'll be talking about that a whole bunch, but that's who I am.
Nice. Awesome. And we actually met. I got a chance to meet you at MegaCon, which was really cool. And I got the 4-book set for and you signed all of them for the one with the bodies.
Broke Down for Dead Bodies. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. All right, so let's go underneath to you, sir, with the great facial hair.
Hey, I'm Pete Risette. I'm a writer on Cthulhu Invades Wonderland. I wrote a story about the Four of Spades, as well as a proofreader on this project. I also edit the comic Quicksand for Jonathan Hedrick, and I'll be having another 8-pager set in one of Jonathan's universes called Freak Show Herald coming out hopefully soon.
Oh, nice. All right, and let's round it out with you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Katrina Rotes. I am a proofreader on this particular series. I also edit comics and write children's books.
Oh, nice. Nice. So that's awesome. So now this project with the Cthulhu Invades Wonderland, there's 200 stories in it, right? Is that what it is?
It's 200 pages, not
200 pages. Okay, yeah. Gotcha. 200 pages. Gotcha.
Well, but there is a decent amount. There's a lot. 36, I think, stories.
Oh, nice.
200. Boy, Pete, you and I have not been busy enough.
I was going to say, yeah, I would say if it was 200, we're way behind on the proof.
We are so behind schedule.
So now there's I think 5 days left on the project.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's cool. So this went from May 14th and it's going to April 4th or March 14th and it's going to April 14th, which is really awesome. And what other creators also worked on this project as well?
Nobody.
Nobody else?
Yeah,
really? That's awesome.
Yeah, I have a whole bunch of names that I wrote.
Yeah, we just made up a whole bunch of names. We just looked on the internet and basically anybody who created comics, we just added them to the list.
Nice.
This is my pen
Donnie
name.
Cates, Scott Snyder, Colin Bond,
all the hot names.
All the hot names are in there. No,
yes, Stan Lee made an appearance.
Yes, Stan Lee
look at that cameo. Gotta love those.
No, we've got some great talent in the indie market. We've got people from Marvel, DC, Scout, Source Point, Mad Cave, Medoja, Behemoth, Antarctic Press, Action Labs,
Marcosia.
Marcosia. I can never say that one right. That's why I skipped it. Way to call me out, proofreader. She's proofing me right now as we talk. But some of the bigger names that people may know is we got Brian Hawkins. He does
nice.
something for Zenoscope. He does something for Mad Cave, he's an editor over at Mad Cave, does a whole bunch of stuff over there. We've got David Byrne, he does Steak from Scout. We got Carl Moline, he did Buffy the Vampire Slayer, created the character of Frey with Josh Whedon, Avengers Arena, Superboy. We got Stan Yak, did Broken Gargoyles over at Source Point Press. We got Chris Madd, who did No Heroine, which was a huge hit in 2001. Rob Beltardi does Nightwolf. Kurt Belcher does Rotten Tail. Dave Galliano from Savage Bastard, Stoney Williams from Villainous, just, a whole bunch of who's who of talent if you're in the indie market and buy a lot of indie books.
Oh, that'd be me. I would say 85% of my reading and my collecting is indie. Like I am a diehard indie fan. So that's like when these projects, I've messed up the link here. So I'm gonna remove what I've got here and I'm gonna reshare it.
The easiest one is CthulhuInvades.com. You don't have to write any of the stuff. Cthulhu
Oh,
Invades.
really? Okay.
So C2C, because it's hard to spell.
Hard to say sometimes too.
CTHULU invades.com.
Gotcha. Okay.
And by the way, hello from New Mexico. Hello, Wayward Comics. Look at all these people showing up on a Saturday. Like
Good old Paul Dunn popping in there.
They're all just waiting for you to go on the internet, Average Will. They just wait. They're like, Saturday they all had plans, and they're like, but Average Will may come on, so we got to wait.
Gotta sit, gotta wait.
Yeah, I joke about it, but I am like, my consistency on posting and doing my live streams is all over the place, just with work being in our construction industry here in Florida. I mean, I know you're over there on Palm Bay. It's been nuts, and I'm up at 4:00 and I get home probably about 6:30, and I'm so wiped from working. I'm not looking to try to record or anything. So to have the opportunity to come on here and see these beautiful folks that are popping into the chat and to be able to hang out with you folks is awesome.
Well, we appreciate it, and we love hanging out with them. So we like them too. All of you guys, even the person from New Mexico. We're not going to even hold that against you.
Yeah, New Mexico, beautiful place, right? La Cruz is
That's what I hear. I've never been.
I've never been.
And basically, what I hear from the internet, a lot of people don't like the regular Mexico. So I don't know why they make a second one, but whatever, do your thing. I like Mexico.
It's the new, yeah.
New.
Yeah. So that's awesome. And then with this, is it going to be a one shot, or is it going to be, I mean, obviously with 200 pages, it's a beast of a story or stories. Is there going to be additional to this in the future?
So this is a sequel to the book that we did last year called Cthulhu Invades Wonderland. It's original graphic novel.
Cthulhu Invades Oz.
Oz. That's
I know. We're all doing that constantly. Just
you guys are proofing me like nobody's business.
Well, the 125-page graphic novel I did earlier today wasn't enough. I just, I got to get my fill.
So Cthulhu Invades Oz, which is it's a graphic novel. So it's a full book, but there's no single issues.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then this is the sequel, which is 200 pages, which is Cthulhu Invades Wonderland. But they do connect, and it's an anthology, but it does have a coherent story. There's a beginning, middle, and end.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. So, with these stories, is there another project you guys are also working on right now? Aside from this, no?
I mean, there's always projects we're working on, but related to this?
Related to it, no. I think if you're probably thinking about more Cthulhu stuff, it was Cthulhu is Hard to Spell 3 that is actually off of Kickstarter now. It funded and then some.
Okay.
I think that's on Indiegogo somewhere. And there's a few people that are in both books.
Oh, that's awesome.
Is that what you're referring to, or do you got something else? You got a secret?
You got an inside track here?
No, I was just throwing that out there as a general question, and maybe having you guys spill some beans on some stuff.
Maybe. We can spill the beans on one thing. We did announce, so because it's funded, we did announce the sequel for Cthulhu Invades Neverland, which is the sequel to this one, which will come out a year from now. And I can say something on this show.
Okay.
I am in talks right now with Cullen Bunn to be a writer. Like not kidding. Like
wow.
He said yes, he's
awesome.
interested.
Okay.
and coming over for the next one. So that's super. Like I'm super stoked. Like he said yes, and I don't even know how to reply. I'll be honest. I'm like,
Thank you.
it's one of those things where
It's
you're
like
I didn't even
fanboying all over the keyboard.
I didn't think I'd get this far. Like I didn't think what would happen after. Like, hold on.
Right, be like, am I getting punked here? Are you really saying yes?
Yeah.
Ashton, where's the cameras at?
Do you have a blue check mark by your name? Is this
Yeah,
really
yeah.
you?
The other one that we have official because we're adding people slowly is you probably know since you love indie, little person named Charlie Stickney does a little book called White Ash. Maybe you've heard of it.
Yep.
It's blowing up. I think it's like $1 million. I don't know how much it is. It's some
$1
ridiculous
billion.
amount of money. Hold on, I gotta find out how much money it is. Hold on. It's killing our anthology with a whole bunch of people. It's killing it. We're
Right.
not even in the same league. All right, White Ash right now from Charlie Stickney is $44,890, 987 backers. So
Wow.
he's killing it.
Nice.
That's awesome.
And we had like a 2-week head start.
Really? No, but you guys are doing good. You're over 30,000, right?
Oh, we're doing fantastic.
Yeah,
we're super happy, but we're not Charlie happy.
Heck, you know, we're only at this moment in time, we're only 4 backers away from 700.
Which is very,
Wow.
very cool.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Really, really cool.
That is awesome. No, that's cool. So, in starting this process, what is the most painstaking thing that you guys find, like when you're trying to get the project going, and all that fun stuff?
What do you think, Peter?
I say painstaking for me, at least with this one, was just getting involved because I was new to everything. Getting involved with an artist to start out with for me, although in the future that'll be less because we kind of know more people. But that initial kind of choosing who does what at the beginning of it really kind of took a bit. Because it's quite an undertaking. I mean, you have a lot of people who want to do the same character all at once, or submitting stories and story ideas for characters and things like that. And it was like that for me. I mean, I chose the cards partially because I had a story in my head already that fit it. And I was like, oh, nobody else is going to choose cards. They're not popular enough. People are going to be like all over the Caterpillar and Alice and the Hatter and whatnot. I'll go for one of the kind of lessers. And it was like instantaneously, like me and 3 other people were like, I want to do cards. And I think everybody who has a character that is not like one of the mains, so to speak, has a story just like that. Like they were thinking of something and then they looked at somebody else and started like, I want to do this.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's really funny because so I kind of handpick. So I pick people who are going to be part of the project. I don't have like an open submission. I like pick people who I want to be part of the project, and then they kind of pitch a character to me, and that's kind of how it works. And then I may reserve 1 or 2 for certain people, but I announce that beforehand. But what was funny is it's so intimidating to people. My best friend, who's never written a comic in his life, I just know he's a good writer because we've played D&D, and I know he's a good writer. We've played Cthulhu together. We've done all these things together. I was like, hey, man, I'd love to get you in a book. I make all the decisions. I guarantee you're in. Come on in. And he pitches the White Rabbit, and no one competes against him. No comic writer competed, so he gets the White Rabbit right off the bat.
Wow.
Same thing with Mad Hatter. No one pitched for the Mad Hatter
Because everybody thought everybody was going to go for the big one, so nobody went for the big
Right,
one.
yeah. And that was part of my thing. It's like, I'm not even going to try to think of anything about those main characters because somebody who is going to be better than me, period, more experienced, everything is going to go for those characters. And it was just really funny to watch, like all the people kind of like, oh yeah, this random character that's in one scene. I want to do that.
Gotcha. Now you do the editing, right? You're the editor on the project.
Well, Katrina and I are along. I mean, the editor in charge is Heather Gabb. So she's still, she's our Orange Cone's editor in chief, and it's Katrina, Wendy Gale, and I are on the proofing team.
Gotcha. Okay.
But both of them, both these guys, though they just do proofing in this particular booth, Kat has a repertoire of like a whole bunch of comics. Peter does Jonathan Hendricks Quicksand, so they're not slumps in the industry when it comes to editing.
Right.
They could both take on this project if they wanted to, but working with me is very difficult. So it's better to have the person who I have to keep happy. Let her be in
Right.
charge because, you know, it's just better.
And frankly, Heather's a great boss. It's good.
Yeah.
That's
She's pretty
cool.
easy to work with.
That's good. That's always a good thing. You know, it's a little tough when the upper echelon are tough to work with, and it makes it a rougher project. So I always ask everyone, all my guests on here, about their favorite, what they're reading aside from work project they're working on. So currently, right now, what is your favorite title? And it doesn't necessarily have to be comics. It could be a regular book or something like that. What is the title that you're enjoying the most right now?
Who you want to go first?
No, let's start with you, Travis.
I read a lot of effing books. Are you sure?
Yeah, I look like, oh God, I got to pull out of the.
So right now, for DC, it's Robin, 100%. Robin is fantastic. So good. For Marvel, it's probably Thor. I think Thor is the better book for the Donny Cates stuff. But there's a lot of good stuff coming up the pipe for Marvel. For Scout, it's Steak. Did you want every publisher or just?
Run down your list.
I'll go all
Keep
day.
going.
Boom, Once and Future. For Mad Cave, I like Nottingham. For who we got? Who am I missing here? Aftershock. I love Bunny Mask. I think it's a great book. I can't wait for more issues of that. For Image, I really like Stillwater, but dude, Marvel, it's Daredevil. I'm sorry. I don't know why I said Thor. Like, I just love Donny Cates so much in my heart. But no, Thor, Daredevil is the best book, like in Marvel's catalog, period.
Gotcha.
Right now. Who else? What other company you need? Who else am I missing? I'm trying to look at our list here of all the companies that were in.
You gave us Scout, right?
Scout. I did name Scout. I named
Steak, right?
either Stake or Recount would be my two, or Electric Black. Any of those three would be great. For Vault, Audible was so good
series,
last year. So good. For Kickstarter, I'm gonna go White Ash. It's a really good Kickstarter book.
Nice.
For Source Point Press, I'm gonna go Bad Dog. For Red 5, I'm gonna go Carriers. For an Arctic Press, I don't read that company, but they make some books.
They did some books, though.
They did some books.
Lucky Devil for Dark Horse. Behemoth is there's a lot over there. I don't know for Behemoth. I've read a lot of their, I get sent their like previews, so I don't know which ones have been out or not. So I don't want to say when it's not out.
Gotcha.
So all right, do you get enough?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. I was just waiting for you to keep going. That's
I read 4 comics a day, every day. Like that's
wow,
a
okay.
thing.
Wow.
So I make sure I read 4 comics a day. Like for instance, today I read In Texas Blood. I finished that the first trade because I'd never read it before. I read She-Hulk number 3. I read Iron Fist number 2, and I read Infinite Agents, which is a Kickstarter book.
Nice. Wow. So you read 4 a day. I've got 3 short boxes here that I'm trying to play catch up on. And I know, and my pull list is ridiculous because of just anytime like a new title comes out, I tell my shop to give it to me. And I'm so far behind. But
that's why I read 4 a day.
To read 4 a day. Yeah.
That's why I do that. I have a very similar stack. Good
yeah. Nice. I'll have to try to adopt that mentality then to do at least 4 a day then.
At least 4 a day. It makes you feel good about it, at least. It doesn't get. What's worse is when you're on issue 5 and you're buying it and you're like, I don't even know if I like this because I haven't started it.
I haven't read one yet.
Right.
That's the hardest part.
I know there's a few in there that I might be in that situation where it's like, oh, I'm already on issue 6 and I'm so far behind on it. So let's drop to the next person.
Sure. Yeah. So I've been reading a lot of Quicksand recently for some reason.
Oh yeah. A little bit, right?
But I'd say yesterday I finished up Holiday Spirits, which is another Orange Cone. It was absolutely fantastic, by the way. My compliment to you and Jerome very much. I'm going to be taking just a quick break from Orange Cone to catch up on Basilisk, I love Basilisk.
Yeah.
It's
Good
absolutely fantastic. And then after that, I will be getting on to Granite State Punk issue number 1. Because I kind of got them all the same day. So that's about how far behind I am. I can tell.
Oh,
I can tell specifically Travis how far behind I am because he knows which day I got them.
Right.
I'm spending some time. I'm kind of going through. I picked up Peter David's book on writing comics and graphic novels, so I want to read through that as well.
Nice.
And I'm going through what is about the 14th reread of a series of novels collectively known as the Book of the New Sun by Gene Wolfe.
Nice. You're next.
all right. I'm going to go outside of the comic realm. Because the only one that I can think of right off the top of my head is the one I worked on today, which is a really good book. But you said it's not projects I've worked on.
But what is it? I want to know.
Lady Bird.
Ooh, okay.
I
I don't know anything about that. I got excited for no reason. I thought I did.
Fabrice. I don't know how to say his last name. Starts with an S. But no, it's going to print on Monday. So it was a rush job for over the weekend for me. So I'm going to go outside the comic realm, and I'm going to go with the Obsidian Spindle Saga by Russell Nolte.
Oh, nice.
I believe we're on book. I think I have book 8 sitting in my work desk right now. But it's fantastic take on mythology and monsters, and you've got like a half Gorgon and her female partner, and they end up in the underworld and the dream realm and the fairy realm, and
Oh wow.
all these different doing quests and things like that, and it's just a fantastic series.
Oh nice. So it's got the fantasy aspect to it.
It definitely has the fantasy aspect to it. Yeah. In fact, I enjoy it so much. I'm working on my new book, and I included that book in my new book.
Oh, nice.
that one of my characters is it's the next book is all cats, but she's like a secret artist, and she draws all the characters from her favorite book series, which just happens to be that one. So I sent it to Russell. I said, "This is okay, right?" I don't want you to hear the story came out afterwards and you're like, oh my god, that's the worst thing I've ever read. But yeah, I would say for my next light reading is this.
Nice.
Which light reading?
Oh man. So I heard Travis, you were talking about D&D. One of the guys that you had come on and write. I've never played D&D. I've always been intrigued to play it, but it just seems so daunting with the amount of time that some of the games can take.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Yeah.
So what is a good? I mean, is there like what is it your guys' favorite characters when it comes to setting up a character for a D&D run?
So I mean, I think it depends on what kind of game that's where it gets complicated, even more complicated, because it depends on what kind of game they're running, right? Like if they're running one that's going to be mostly fighting, you probably want to make like a warrior or like a spellcaster. But if it's going to be more intrigue, maybe you want to make a rogue so you can do it, or noble. Like there's all these different variables, which makes D&D so interesting, when it comes to all those variables. I'm trying to find that and building the right archetype for the player, right?
Gotcha.
One of the things, when it comes to Dungeons and Dragons and stuff like that. So I'm a LARPer. Do you know what LARPing is?
Yeah, it's the live action, right?
Yeah,
live action role playing.
Okay.
So I mean, I'm not anymore. I'm 44. So I'm not even 44. I'm going on 43. Like I'm already.
You're trying to give yourself an
Wow,
extra
you're
year.
giving yourself like a year and a half there.
Wow. Yeah. So my birthday's on Thursday. Will's on Tuesday.
Mhm.
We should hang out on Wednesday. Meet in the middle. But it's because of that why I can do this kind of book, which is kind of interesting. So most people, when they do anthologies, it's just you submit and you write a story and they're not connected at all.
Mm-hmm.
But because of role-playing games, I've been able to take all those stories and put them together, because that's what a storyteller does. He's like, all right, so what kind of character did you make? Let me add it to the story that I'm trying to tell and make that work. So because I've done it on such a larger scale, because when I do LARPs, I'm not talking like 6 people. Like I'm talking, my game was 30 to 50 people, and then I've ran games for up to 200 to 300 people.
Wow.
So I mean, I've run massive games for people, and then been part of organizations with thousands of people where I oversee certain groups of them. So it's a big overarching thing. But it's that skill set which makes me completely unique for doing stuff like this, like a Cthulhu Invades, because everybody can bring their story, whatever it is, and I can make it fit into what I'm trying to say. Now and then I may have to talk to somebody about some dialogue choices or whatever, but other than that, like it'll work.
Gotcha. So wow, you would do big games then with a lot of people. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've watched some like YouTube videos where they've a couple different groups, they do YouTube stuff, and I've watched it. I'm always intrigued, but then again, it's the overtaking on trying to come up with a character, putting that character sheet together, and giving the time for some of the games and the campaigns and everything. Just very daunting, but always, I'm always intrigued by watching other folks play it. That I'm like, man, this would be really fun to do.
Yeah, I mean, it was super fun. I wish I had the time in my life, to continue to do it, because I really like to keep doing it. I do one role-playing game a week. Actually, it's not even every week. It's every other week. It's a vampire game, and we've been running that for about a year, and we're wrapping it up right now. And then you're friends with the Burritos, right?
Uh-huh.
So because this funded, when we did Cthulhu Invades Oz, I ran a D&D game. It's a really cool thing if you want to go through their archive. I ran it for them.
Oh, wow.
A live D&D game. Maybe you should ask them to be a part of it. And because they helped us fund this one, we're going to do another one over there. We're going to do Cthulhu Invades Wonderland. So it's a Dungeons & Dragons game, Cthulhu Invades Wonderland, and we'll do it live. It's about a 6-hour live stream. It'll be a lot of fun. But yeah,
he was all in, and then he heard 6 hours.
Listen to it while you work. I don't know. You said construction. Can you do it while you're hammering?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I run the jobs and everything, so I'm back and forth between job sites. So that's actually how I get through some of the YouTube stuff. Is I'll make a playlist in the morning. I'll get up while I'm getting my coffee and breakfast. I'll make a playlist for that day.
Okay.
And the beauty of having, the YouTube Premium is I can click my phone, go black screen, put it in my pocket, and walk around a job site with my earbuds in or an earbud in, because guys, practice safety, and just listen to people's videos and and everything like that. So I may not actually watch them, and that's where like a lot of the campaigns, watching the campaigns or listening to them, where I would be able to just the banter back and forth, the different situations, just seems like it's a lot of fun. So I don't know. I talked to Dustin, our comic book poser, as well, in regards to them doing how they were doing D&D stuff, because he actually participates with some of the folks that run one of the comic shops down here in Tampa. So
okay,
that's neat. Yeah. I love Poser.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Don't tell him we said that though. Like his ego is out of control. So.
Oh, Oregon, you meet once a month for D&D, and is that how long are those sessions each time? It's crazy. So 6-hour live stream for a live game for the Cthulhu.
Yeah. But Nick, who I just met today, by the way, Nick was in the area driving from back to Michigan. So I met up with him at Dunkin' Donuts this morning.
Oh, nice.
I'm cheering being the one Michigan person here.
But he had his first game on that live stream. He never played before, and he had his first stream, and he had a good time and
nice.
Things like that. But a normal game will run you like 4 hours, so it's a time commitment. It's a huge time commitment.
Yeah, we're on that 4 to 6 hours.
Yeah,
okay.
my youngest has a regular group that they play every other week, and I believe it's something from like 4:30 to 9:30 or something like that on Sunday nights.
Oh, okay.
So they're doing 4 to 6 hours.
Nice. So in these stories with invading Wonderland, is it so? You said it has a beginning, a middle, and an ending. Um, is it just spread out through all the different characters, or does it follow like? Do we follow Alice through the story, or does it just break up with the characters?
Oh, that's a great question. Will, we've done this a whole bunch of time, and no one's asked me the complicated question about it. Peter, quick, handle this. Like I don't.
Come on, Peter.
Yeah, so each creative team effectively takes a different character to be the main character in their
Gotcha.
story.
Okay.
And so the story itself is sort of weaved through the stories of all the different characters and how they kind of deal with it.
Okay.
That being said, for this particular one, Alice and Mad Hatter appear in several stories,
Right.
and they push the narrative forward. But in Cthulhu Invades Oz, it's just individual stories, and then we push the narrative with some prose and some other stuff. Because what you're getting is a snapshot of the invasion. So invasion day, blah blah blah, invasion day, blah blah blah. So you'll get a snapshot of those things as we go.
All right, sweet. So when it finishes up in the 5 days, when will people be able to actually have it in their hands?
So our plan is in June. It may be pushed back to July, but not because of anything everybody's done. We have the art done and everything. It's me and my wife were forced to move from our house. I think I told you that.
Yeah, you said you were in the middle.
We're forced to move, so realistically, we're not really going to be able to do the final prose that we need to add it all together to get everything put together till beginning of May, which will get it to the printer. So if the printer prints fast, we can hit our June deadline. But it may be like the first week of July. It still won't be that off. It just may be an extra month, to get that. So yeah, but we're looking for June, July, but very, very fast if you factor in it's a 200-page graphic.
Right, yeah, with it being that many pages, definitely. So convention season's back officially. Obviously, we've been dealing with the pandemic, so the conventions weren't really that great. I was supposed to go to C2E2 last year, could not end up going. I did hit MegaCon last year. Are you guys? What conventions are on your guys' radars, if any, this year?
I think for me, I've got MegaCon coming up. I'm trying to hit Ancient City over in up there. I'm gonna try to go to New Hampshire Granite State Con, which is up there, and then I'd like to do C2E2, but we kind of put our money on hold for the house situation. Right. So once that's planned out, I then have to apply and see if anybody will take me. So that'll dictate that. But I may go as a guest, not as a thing, and bunk up at somebody's table. Maybe be like, hey, I sit here now. Move them over.
Yeah. Make my little space here. Let me write my name. Here we go. I got my little flyer. Here you go.
Just give me this much. I can do a lot with this much.
And I really want to go to where Kat is. Like, I have a huge fan base in Michigan. Like a huge fan base. Like when I ship out my packages, it's Florida, obviously, because I live in Florida. That makes sense. Mm-hmm. It's California, Texas, and Michigan are my three. And depending on the book, it bumps up. That's even more than my home state of New Hampshire, where I've got, family who buys it. But Michigan has a huge, good comic community that buys stuff.
Nice. Hey, because isn't there like a Detroit Con or something like that? Is there?
Detroit Fan Fair.
That's what it was. Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When is that? Like, what time of year is that one on?
Well, with COVID, everything has shifted, so I'm not even sure right now. We also have Grand Rapids Comic Con, which is they're doing twice a year now.
Oh.
And that's actually this weekend. Is their first one, and then I believe the other one is in November. I think.
Isn't Three Rivers
2 times a year?
Isn't there Three Rivers and like Steel something? And those two sound familiar.
There's Cherry Capital up in Traverse City. We've had a bunch now. Used to be we had nothing,
right? And
now we're picking them up.
I know people are dying to get out to them. I know I had a lot of fun last year with MegaCon, and then they had everything seemingly in the last 3 months. You had C2E2. Emerald City Comic Con, New York Comic Con, they were all like within a few month period.
Everything was jammed together.
Yeah. So it was
Yeah.
it was tough. It was tough to try to pick which ones you want to go to. Now everything's kind of spaced out nice. I'm actually going to Planet Con in a couple
Okay.
weeks, which I'm excited about that to meet. Like I'm hoping to see Scotty Young because he's one of my favorite cover artists and art writers in general. I was surprised how much I enjoy his writing when I got into it because I've only been in comics for 2 years now. So
Yeah,
I'll say I'm not I've got one show I'm tabling at,
Mhm.
but it's a very small, I believe, 1-day show in Canada.
oh,
It's being run by a longtime friend of mine.
Oh, nice.
And I think tables are like $30. So I was like, that's a chance to catch
Why
up with
not?
it's a
Right,
chance
yeah.
to catch up with everybody, and shouldn't
Sell
be
a couple
too
books, make the
so-
table back immediately.
Right. three books makes table. So
Yeah.
I'm
Nice.
thinking that I'm hoping to get out to C2E2, but I'm in a similar housing situation as Travis. So everything's kind of on hold until I figure where I'm gonna be.
right.
So, yeah.
Okay.
And I normally do cons mostly for my daughter, who's an amazing artist, my 16-year-old Emily. She's actually in Cthulhu Invades Wonderland. She did the artwork for the
Yep.
Dormouse story. If you have a copy of Cthulhu Invades Oz, she actually did Travis's Dorothy story in that as well, as well as a few covers and pinups for other things. And she's got some more work coming as well. So normally I do a lot of stuff for that for her, and we kind of stick by pretty local in general. So in June, we're doing the Space Coast Comic Con.
Okay. Yep.
Which is in Vieira this year.
I'll be there.
Nice. And the Melbourne Toy and Comic Con in October, we're definitely signed up for. We signed up for that right after the Orlando Toy and Comic Con. So
Nice.
Yeah.
So you're in Florida too, then?
Oh yeah, I'm like I could basically probably yell and Travis would hear me.
Gotcha. Nice.
I'd have to go outside, but yes, beyond that.
That's true. Yeah, it just depends on how much traffic is on 95 at the time, right?
Gotcha. Yeah, no, my daughter, when she was playing competitive soccer, we were over on that coast a lot. Over in Palm Coast, down in Stewart area, and down in Sunrise for soccer tournaments, because that seemed like those were the main places they like to have them, aside from at the ESPN Center in Disney.
Yeah, it's like if you're doing baseball or softball, you go up to Vieira because they have all the stuff up there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
I should thank Travis. I actually got cool points last night with the Special Olympics basketball team that my son is on, because I got to say I work in comics.
Oh, nice.
They're
Well,
probably all
they were
excited.
like-
you were working in comics before I met you. I just
It's true, but they got to they're like, what? And then the one guy was showing me this really cool store in Grand Rapids. He's like, they have comics and toys and collectibles.
Nice.
And I was like, that's really cool. I said, I noticed in your search thing you had Grand Rapids Comic Con listed. I said, have you ever gone? He goes, oh my God, it's so exciting. And I said, yeah, I know the guy who owns that. Whoa, mind blown. I was like, I didn't realize I had that many cool points going for me.
Nice.
Yeah, they love it. My cousin, my niece and nephew, they like to Google me and that I come up really high. They're like, what? I was like, yeah, because there's one other Travis Gibb that does anything, and he is important. He's actually Barry Gibb, the BG's son, Travis Gibb.
Okay.
But it's crazy because he's also my same age. He's 43. He also lives in Florida. So him and I just compete for stuff for the search engine here in Florida over and over again.
Nice. So I'm trying to think. So I wanted to ask, because I saw it going through some of the stuff, the other project, is it the Grand State Punk? Is that what it is?
Yeah,
Grand
State Punk.
State Punk. Yeah. So, and I saw you posted about oh my God, my wife loves that movie. I never remember the name of it. The
SLC Punk. Yeah.
There you go. That's what it is.
Whenever your wife wants to watch it, just tell her to give me a call. We'll watch it.
Yeah,
I'm down any day.
Yeah, she loves that movie. Yeah, she's a big fan of all that stuff. So,
So Grand State Punk was a book I did last. When did I do it? Like January. I did it recently.
gotcha.
It's a great book. It did really well on Kickstarter. It's about a guy named Zeke. Zeke is going through depression, anxiety, trying to get over a drinking problem. He doesn't do so well with that. And he's a former punk rocker who's living at his dead parents' house, who he finds out is connected to a coven of witches.
Oh, wow.
But it's written like SLC Punk, if you ever watch it, or Mr. Robot. So it's a lot of like in your face, like dealing with, top of mind. It breaks the fourth wall like Deadpool a little bit. So we talk about some pop culture stuff. It is a lot of fun to write. I love the book. And it's a one shot. So it's a one and done. I think it's the best thing I've ever written. I'll be honest.
Awesome. That's cool. Yeah, definitely. That's something I want to try to check out, because I know, like, I try like the whole comic thing. Nobody in my family is really into it, so it's like I'm getting my son into it. Like, my daughter fell in love with Something That's Killing the Children because of Erica Slaughter. She's all team girl power, so she read the first couple issues of that, and she's like, "Oh my god, Erica Slaughter's so badass." So that was a proud dad moment there for me, where it's like, "All right, cool." I guess I'm not as much of, I'm trying to get into this whole comic book thing, and my son last night fell asleep reading Ninja Turtles on the couch. So it's cool to share that stuff with them.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Getting that part of it is beautiful. Comics. I grew up with comics. Comics were super important in my life. That's why I read so much. I actually get frustrated, I'll be honest, when I go into panels and like there's these writers who are doing stuff and they're like, "Oh, I don't have time to read." But every pro, you'll never see a pro say they don't have time to read. Like, no, not you. Like people who, like, I'm talking about people who write. They're doing all sorts of books and they want to break into this industry, but they don't know any names. They don't know anything. And that's very frustrating to me, because I live, breathe, and die this industry. It's so important to me, and it's hard, So yeah, I get you.
Nice.
But read more comics, Kat. Like, to be honest.
Read more comics.
Definitely. Well, I mean, I know I got a lot of catching up to do.
Most of my new stuff got packed in boxes. It's going to be like Christmas. I'm going to open a box and be like, "There's all my comics."
To be fair, it's my fault. I owe her a Muppets book, and she's just waiting. That's,
I'm waiting on
right, that's in her reading stack. She's committed to it.
Right at the top. If I'm committed, I'm going to read this.
Yeah.
But it's sitting in Florida.
Dang Muppets book.
It's true, because
until she gets it, she can't start reading anything else. I mean, she's already
anything else. Travis, did I back Granite State? Do you know?
You did. I actually just packaged it up this morning.
Okay. It's been a crazy few months. I'm like, did I back that? I think I backed that. It sounds like something I would back.
Yeah. You absolutely did, and it is packaged up. And
you didn't put the Muppets book in with it, right?
I did not, because it's so big. It's not because I didn't. It's so big. I have to. The reason why you haven't got it is it's massive. It's like, it's a giant book, so I got to figure out how to ship it. I don't have a box to ship it unless I actually put it in a box.
Unless you find a box. I had that with the Kickstarter package I just sent him. Like,
and you said you were moving, and then you're not moving. Like,
and then I might still be moving. It's insanity. I know. Russell Nolte, who I've worked with for years, has got a stack for me, and he's like, "Until you know where you're at, I'm not shipping this." And I'm like, "That's okay," because he's like, "It'd just be one more thing you have to pack if you do end up moving." So I'm like, "Okay, cool."
So the roller coaster of emotions.
It is. It's been crazy. There'll be a big giant announcement once I figure out what's happening.
I love it. It's a good adventure. It's a good story. There's all sorts of twists and turns. It's great. Better than I could have written it, I'll just tell you.
Nice.
and yet it's just not as fun living it.
Yeah. For some reason.
You wouldn't think, right?
Yeah, I should have known yesterday for sure what was happening, and yet still I don't. So, yay. It's all right.
Yeah,
whatever happens, and we'll figure it out. As I tell my children, we'll make it work somehow. And they look at me and go, "I don't know how we do it, but somehow we do."
We got good willpower, right?
Stubbornness to the core.
There you go. Even better. All right, so I usually do like a 30. These shows usually I go about 30 minutes. I keep them short. But again, I want to say first, thank you guys so much for coming on. I know it was kind of a little bit in shambles getting everything set up for tonight. I was running late and everything like that. Again, folks, if you guys are watching this on the replay or if you're with us now, I have posted the link to the Kickstarter. You have 5 days, or you have until the 15th of April to back the Kickstarter if you want to get on in there and get some sweet things that come with it. It's a cool story. I know I did when I met you at MegaCon last year. We had talked about the Cthulhu Invades Odds. I cannot speak at all today. But
Cthulhu is also hard to say.
Yeah.
Not just hard to spell; it's hard to say.
So we had talked about that, and I didn't grab that for me because I ended up getting the 4 books from you, which was cool because I read those.
Because you're at MegaCon, everybody was selling you before me. Like it happens.
Well, and then you actually sent me over to Jonathan Hendricks. It was actually funny because you sent me to Jonathan, and he was on somebody else's booth, and I had to use the secret code word for the recount stuff for him to pull that out. And I got a couple things from him. So. But all right, so
don't bring up the secret.
Like, I'm sorry. Well, you guys, internet, listen, YouTube, you guys heard nothing.
And he was really great, and I bought some stuff, and
he was a very nice guy. We supported the booth he was working at.
Right.
Supported that booth. So, do you guys have any last words or anything like that you want to share?
The only thing is just a reminder that it does end in like 6 days. So it's you're at the last of it. You're one of our last interviews that we're doing. So, make sure you get a chance to come out and check it out. At least check it out. Get the digital. Even it's a thing. Like it is a big undertaking. It's a thing. Like I don't even know what else to say. It's something else. So pick it up. Check it out.
Nice.
What Travis said.
Travis said, yeah. Don't wait, guys. You don't want to miss this one.
Absolutely.
It's a thing.
Fantastic book.
It's a thing. And you can get Granite State Punk in the back. If you really want Granite State Punk, it's an add-on, so you can get that.
Oh, nice. Look at that. There you go.
I'll
definitely have to try to add that on.
You can get signed copies, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And it won't be signed by me, but if you ever come to Michigan, I'll sign it for you.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there's always space in the back of those books for all the different people and different stories and whatnot. So we'll get together, a lot of folks in the general area.
They're nice enough to put a proofreader section.
Actually, I want to tell a quick story that's really funny. Like, because this is a lot of people who are paying attention. So I was going around my house because I'm moving, and I found an extra Cthulhu Invades Wonderland box.
Those boxes were so nice.
So I found an extra one. And I was like, okay, so let me add the extra one to the pledge levels because I only had 7, so now it's 8. And so someone changed your pledge to that. That person was on a hardcover tier, so that cleared up. So that was available. So someone upped their pledge for the hardcover tier.
Oh wow!
This was on a glow in the dark that wasn't available, so that got adjusted. So now someone got the glow in the dark.
Nice.
Wow!
Like you can nice domino.
It was like $300.
Somewhere, someone with digital went, I want to read this in my hands.
It was the funniest thing, but it just shows the power of the book, that people are waiting for somebody to slip up so they can get the copies they want. I get messages all the time. Hey, can I get a hardcover? Can I get this? Can I get that? And I'm like, haven't decided if I'm going to reprint them yet. They're like, you have 6 days yet. I know. I'm bad at making decisions.
As of right now, we're only 4 people away from unlocking another digital comic as a reward, too.
It's ridiculous, right? It's so good.
That's awesome. And that's cool. It's the fruition or the fruit of your labor to see that happen where you throw something on there and then the domino effect of everybody up in their tiers.
Yeah.
So that's cool. That's cool. Definitely. Definitely, I'm going to check it out. I'm going to go in there because that Granite State Punk sounds interesting. Talking about the witches, adding the little twist with the witches. There's pretty interesting in that regard. I'm all over the place with my indie stuff. I don't have like a specific set story that I like to stick to. I read, essentially try to read everything. So I'll definitely have to check that out.
Yeah, it's connected with what am I trying to say here? It's connected to New Hampshire lore. So if you're from New Hampshire, which you probably aren't, but
no.
If you are, there's a lot of New Hampshire like lore that you can look up. So New Hampshire, if you've ever seen a state coin, or if you look behind me, see that like license plate? There's a face in it. See the face?
Mm-hmm.
So that face is called the Old Man in the Mountain, and that was found about the time of the Salem witch trials. It's a very cool, like iconic New Hampshire piece of history, and it just fell off one day. And this kind of tells the origin of why it may have fell off, which I think is pretty cool.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Wow. Now I'm eagerly going to be stocking my mailbox. Like, I didn't know that little bit.
Yeah, just to give you an idea, like I wrote it, I was really proud of it. And my wife, when she was reading, she's like, "Hey, honey, since I'm editing this, can I get the story that this came off of, the urban legend, so I can put it all together?" I was like, "I made it up. I'm sorry."
But that's good. It's so
She's
good
like,
that
"No,
you
it's good.
thought
It's
that was
good." I
a
was
real
just like,
thing.
"Oh, okay."
Nice. All right. Well, again, thank you so much for coming on, and thank you everyone who is watching. If you're watching this on the replay, thank you. Make sure you hit that like button. We always shoot for 10 whole likes here on the channel. That's always an achievement we look to try to hit here. And again, definitely check out. The link is in the comment. It is also in the description as well. Go ahead and check out the Kickstarter and jump on in and get your copy. Thank you so much again, folks, for hanging out with me. I appreciate you. And as always, tell somebody you love them. I'm Average Will, and we're out.
I love you, Average Will.
Yeah, thank you.